Hey, She Army, and welcome to the Simply She podcast. I'm your host, Crystal Renee, and today we're going to be discussing personal branding and also having unicorn conversations. So, as I like to say, since there is, we're doing this thing live, there's no pause, there's no rewind, and we're definitely unfiltered. So, make sure couple housekeeping rules. We want to make sure that you allow StreamYard access so that you can leave comments and questions under your name. You can revoke access at any time, but in order for us to be able to see who you are, you have to allow StreamYard access. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you, so feel free to type your questions and your comments into the chat. So, when it comes to establishing yourself online, brand integrity is so important. But how can we establish that? And better yet, why is it important? How do we start off on the right foot so that we build something that really leaves a legacy and serves the community with excellence? So, my guest today, she's here. She's going to drop some gems on how we can get our personal brands in order. Let me tell you a little bit about who she is because I'm so excited to have her on the show. Chante Franco is an Army veteran, military spouse, and mom of 3 teenagers and 2 German Shepherds. She's the owner of Chante Franco LLC and the creator and the host of the podcast PB&C, Personal Branding and Chante. Guys, it's so amazing. I was just on there. Make sure you guys listen and we'll have some more information about that later. Her mission is to help mompreneurs and women network marketers to have a clear understanding of who they are, what their non-negotiable are, and how to use their uniqueness as a strength. Welcome to the show, Chante.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I am very excited, even though I will say that I was a little thrown off. I was like, oh, we're going to be live. Okay. Let me make sure I have my whole life together.
No. I mean, after the show gets rolling, you forget we're live. But anywho, you're doing fine. You look great, and I'm so excited to have you here with us. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. Tell the listeners a little bit about you and how you got started in business.
So my name is Chante Franco. Thank you very much for that introduction. I am an Army veteran, and I have been in network marketing since I've been 18. So even when I was in the Army, I wanted to do network marketing because I had that entrepreneurial spirit. And I thought to myself, one day I will not work for anyone, take orders from anyone. I will work for myself. And I will say that there was a period of time where I was so burnt out and had such a bad taste in my mouth from network marketing that I became one of those anti-network marketers. I was like, this is why you shouldn't do it. This is why it's evil. And then I sat down and really thought to myself, why do I feel this way? Is it because I was done wrong, or was it because I was doing things wrong? And it got to the point where I realized I couldn't figure this out by myself. So I did get a mentor and I did get a business coach, and I use all the resources that are available to me as a veteran. And I enrolled in one of their entrepreneur courses, which was amazing. So if there are any veterans out here, there is a free resource that you can use through Syracuse, and it will take you from conception until actualization. And I learned that what happened is that I was operating in a way that wasn't going to help me in the long run. And when I say that is, first of all, I didn't know who I was. I thought I did, but I didn't. I didn't know any of my non negotiables. I didn't know my core values. I didn't know what my hard limits were. I didn't know who I was serving. I didn't know how I could serve them. I was just out in them streets all willy nilly trying to chase a dream, and that dream is financial freedom. Anyone who is in a business, that is the goal, is financial freedom. It is some kind of freedom, but it deals with money, right? And so I realized, okay, I don't hate network marketing. I hated what I didn't learn. I hated how I operated because I didn't know any better. So I decided, instead of going, it's evil, I go, hey, sis. So I know that this is what is being told for you to do, but this is actually what you need to do. And then when I started doing that, the common theme was not knowing who they were and not knowing what a personal brand was and always putting the product in front of themselves. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. Not today. And so that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to start a podcast. I am going to use this platform to help people understand what a personal brand is, how it can elevate everything from your self-esteem, because now you know who you're serving, you know who you are. There's a clear path. You're not just running around with your head cut off. Sorry for the visuals, like a chicken with a head cut off, but you're not running around trying to figure out how you're supposed to be making this dream happen. And so that's how that came about. And when I started the podcast, I decided, well, I need to write all of this down. And that's where the ebook came about, because I have extreme ADHD in it. There's actually several kinds of ADHD, but that's a whole other episode. But on the spectrum, I have extreme intensive ADHD, and I become hyper focused, and I become hyper fixated, and I became hyper fixated on personal branding. So I wrote a whole ebook about it because I wanted everyone to know the power of it. And you can stop me because I am known for rambling. I will keep going and going and going.
No, I mean, that's great. I mean, I love, you know what? I love what you said about being out here in these streets. I mean, like, I talk about the internet streets all the time. So, like, out here in these streets, trying to make it happen, talking to anybody and everybody who will listen, because you're chasing that dream. And quite frankly, it's freedom, just freedom in period, financial freedom, freedom of time, and not necessarily understanding who you are. That's at the core. That's the first thing you have to do. And so I commend you for going through that process for yourself and highlighting that is important and why it's so important. Because I know we're talking about personal branding today, but if you don't know who you are, how do we know? And so I think, that comes across in your messaging and in your business. So, I mean, look, I'm taking some value away from what you said, because I'm like, and I completely resonate with you, because that definitely is like the first step that I had to go through personally to be able to move forward in my business. So I think that's dope.
Thank you. And honestly, it's not just for, selling things. Your personal brand is your reputation. So I have worked with individuals. And when I say worked with, it was more we had a conversation, because I like to have conversations with people. Hence the tagline of my show being Conversations with a Unicorn. I like having conversations with people. And I had one with a gentleman who was trying to pivot from what he was doing and change his image online, because he wanted to be hired by a certain type of company. And everything he was presenting, everything that he was showing about himself wasn't in line with what he wanted. So, and it's not just branding to sell. I mean, yeah, you're selling yourself, but not selling a product. And we talked about, everything from what he believed in, from, what he resonated with the companies that he was trying to be hired with. And we cleaned up his profile, because let's be honest, your presence online has a purpose. So whatever you put out there, put it out there with intention. I mean, if it's your personal page, that's fine. But I'm going to be honest with you. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, I have many friends in human resources and many recruiter friends. And they say, yeah, we dig into your social media. We will put your name in Google, and whatever pops up, we look at it. And the things that you think they can't see because you deleted, no, it's there. So, yeah. So if you're going to put something out there, remember that does represent you. That is a representation of you. And the main part about having a personal brand or self-branding is, again, that's your reputation when you're not in the room. And now the next question is, when you're not in the room, are they even talking about you?
Hello.
Because if they're not even talking about you,
Yes.
you're not making that impact that you probably want to make. I'm assuming that you want to make, and I know what assuming does. Okay, I know what assuming does. It makes an A out of you and me. But I'm assuming that if you are an entrepreneur, you want to make an impact. So sometimes you just have to streamline that personal brand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, everything you just said, like, I'm just like, yep, yep, yep. Tell people that all the time. And that's probably why you call yourself, or you are, the personal branding unicorn. So now I call myself a unicorn also. So we talked. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's two unicorns together. We have to do this." Like, so tell us a little bit about that. Tell us why you're the personal branding unicorn.
And I wish I could trademark it. I'm going to look into that. But I call myself the personal branding unicorn because unicorns are magical. But what a lot of people don't remember about, the tale of unicorns or the stories around them is that they're highly selective. And as an empath, we were talking about this, Crystal, on my show. As an empath, I have to be selective about the energy that I receive and have around me. And being a unicorn, thinking of myself as a unicorn actually helped me create my niche. It actually helped me find who I wanted for my target audience. And I could even go deeper into that and say, okay, yes, mompreneurs, but maybe mompreneurs who are military spouses, maybe mompreneurs who are military spouses who believe in the power of energies, in the power, of mindset. So you can go as deep as actually, the deeper you go, the more you niche, the better. I know there's information out there that says no, but I'll tell you why in a minute. And Crystal can too, because I know she's like the target marketing queen. So I'm pretty sure this is nothing you haven't heard already. But I call myself that because I am very selective. And also it reminded me that I am magical because let's be honest, sometimes it is hard to remember why you want to do something when times get tough, when there are obstacles. And also, it's hard to really show up if you don't believe in yourself. And so, as much as I wanted everyone to believe that I was a unicorn, first I had to believe that I was a unicorn. I had to believe that I was magical enough, that I was knowledgeable enough, that I had a right to be selective about who I worked with. And so every time I say that or somebody says that, there's a little voice in my head that's like, damn straight. Yep. Yep. I am a unicorn.
Yes. And it's so funny. I know. So like for the people in the pole and sensual dance world, unicorn is like it's a huge thing. Just because, a lot, everyone has their own unique personality. And so the reason why I call myself a unicorn is because I am unique and I've embraced my uniqueness. And I took it a step further. I put the boss in front of it. I'm your favorite boss unicorn. Yes, just because, like you said,
Like it.
I'm selective about who I let in my space. And we did talk about this on your show just a few minutes ago. And, being very intentional about like what that energy exchange looks like and being very protective of my energy and, who's in the room, who's around me and who I give that to. So, right. So I think definitely the unicorns have united, guys, on the show. You have double unicorn power right here sitting in front of you. And it's amazing. So I completely 100% agree. You definitely are the personal branding unicorn.
Thank you very, very much.
So in keeping with that, because, unicorns, they know their stuff. So what are some common mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make when it comes to their personal brand?
Well, I will say because it's pretty broad when you say entrepreneurs, because again, we all are doing different things, but I'm going to keep these common mistakes pretty broad as well. So if you are like, that's not my mistake, okay, well then I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the one who's making this mistake. But the first one is what I mentioned already, and that's not knowing who they are. So it's not taking the time to at first lay that foundation of just being confident within themselves. And to be confident within yourself, you have to know what makes you unique. What are your core values? You have to know what you're passionate about, because when you are trying to be an entrepreneur, you have to be passionate about whatever you're doing. Because if not, if you're just doing it for a quick buck, it's not going to stay. It's not going to stick. You are going to be like, forget it. I'll move on to the next thing, And I find that with a lot of people who have like shiny object syndrome, it's not that they want to go to whatever is new. It's just that they haven't found what they're passionate about yet. So they can't stay focused and be in their purpose. So you do have to find what you're passionate about and use your unique experiences. Use them. I know that there are things in our past that we don't like. I got it. Everybody has something. No one grew up with just roses and rainbows, but I call those experiences learning tools. So you learn from that, and whatever you learned, you can now share to someone else. The next thing that I feel some entrepreneurs, or is a common mistake for entrepreneurs, is not knowing what they want to accomplish with whatever they're doing. So there's that end goal of making money. I want to be a 6-figure. I want to be a 7-figure earner. Okay, but why? Like, why do you want it? So it is that why. And there is the cute, answer of, I want a why for my family. We need to go a little bit deeper, because there's a why that you don't want to say, but that's the why that we need to focus on. And what is the end goal? Are you trying to help other people? Are you just trying to help yourself? And I'm not saying that it's wrong just to want to help yourself, but I will say you need to be honest about what you're doing, because when there's honesty and there's clarity, there is focus. And when there's focus and you're walking in your purpose, magic happens. And the third mistake I would say is not identifying your target audience. So many people want to serve everyone because they feel that's what they're supposed to do. And that if they niche down, or if they try to make it a smaller target audience, then they're losing money some way. The way that I say this or think about this is, I actually heard this on a podcast and another podcast. And he was saying, if someone came to your door every day and they handed you $100, every day they knocked on your door, they handed you $100, you would be waiting for that person. That's the person you need right now. What if someone came and they opened up the door and they were just saying, hi, this is what I have. Hi. You'd be like, okay, bye, and close the door. That person that showed up and was giving you $100 was giving you value. And the reason they were giving you value is because they knew they wanted to talk to you. Like, you were their person, right? And if that's still too broad, if it's like, okay, that still doesn't make sense. All right, let's break it down again. When you look at people who have really built a strong presence online and successful business, and I know successful, that can be described in so many ways. Everyone has their own opinion, own perception of success. But when we're talking about success, look at people like Brendon Burchard. He is known for talking about high performance. He is known for talking about being productive. That's what he's known for. He has done other things. He has a whole nutrition line out, but he is known for this. He stuck to one thing until he was known for it, and then he could branch off. And the reason why people are okay with that is because they trust him. Because he stayed true to what he was showing. He stayed true to the content. He stayed true to himself and what he was presenting. He didn't try to go 5,000 different places. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying you should do it one at a time if you do. Another one, let's look at Oprah. What is Oprah known for? She was known for her talk show at first. Like, that's what she was known for. Yes, she started in news, but she was known for her talk show. And then she went on and she did other things. She has O Magazine. She has her own network right now.
Mm-hmm.
But she focused on one thing and was known for that one thing. And she talked to her audience, right? And her audience wasn't for everybody. You think everybody was like, oh my God, I love Oprah? No. You think that everyone was like, oh my God, I love Brendan Burchard? No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No. Even Charlene Johnson. I don't know if you know who she is, but she, okay. She, when I first met her, she was a fitness influencer for me.
Yep.
That's how I was introduced to her. And then she started to do other things, which she is known to do. And I love her for it because she's always true to herself doing it. But each time she did something, it might not have been the same target audience, but she stuck with that until she was known for it. So, long story short, the third mistake is not knowing your target audience. The fourth one, and every mistake that I'm saying is actually what you should be thinking about if you're going to be an entrepreneur. So these are the things you should be doing. And if you're not, then these are mistakes. The fourth one is determining your unique service proposition, your USP, your I help statement. I know you have that one, Crystal, the I help statement.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that statement because it's a short statement, but it's powerful because you're clear on who you serve. Oh, I just heard something really weird. Sorry. It sounded like a whale. I don't know. Squirrel. Sorry. So it sounded like a whale, but it is your statement that says, this is who I am. This is who I serve. This is how I serve them. Very sweet, short to the point, definitely can be used to just stay on focus. So they don't have that USP. And then the fifth one, right? And I think this is just as big as any of them, but the fifth mistake is that they do not put themselves in front of the brand. Now, it depends on, and this is definitely for network marketers, but it depends on what type of business you're running. Now, if you're trying to do a one-off where you build the business and then sell it, I can understand, because that is a business. Building a business, selling it, building a business, selling it. That's a business. You might not want to be the face of that. Even though there is a study showing that, especially since COVID, this whole thing, people really want to connect with something personal. So now that's why you see all these big brands like Nike hitting the fields with all their commercial. They're pulling you in. They're making you feel something. You have brands like Coke or Coca-Cola, who are now encouraging their employees to be more open on social media, because now you're connecting with that employee and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah. And it's like, yeah, I work for Coca-Cola and whatever, and it's amazing. They're pulling you in. So they're not saying, Coca-Cola, we're the best, or Nike, we're the best. They're showing that they're connecting with you. But I would say number 5 is that, especially network marketers, they're putting the brand in front of them. And quite frankly, people want to work with people. They don't want to be sold to. They do want their pain points solved, but they don't want to be sold to. When someone comes to me and they're like, I'm like, okay. Okay, that's great. All right, bye. I can feel when somebody wants to sell to me. It's like that sharky foot. I feel like it's like do 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 do. Like I have like a bullet, like just like the aim thing right here, and they're like, my next target. No, look at and I'll say, I'm sorry, my mind, so many different places. All right. So coming back on track. This is why my show, by the way, friends, is not live, because I would have a 4-hour show talking about anything and everything. Going back to the point. Number 5. putting a brand in front of you, or not treating yourself as a brand, because you are. Everyone is a brand, whether they know it or not. I talk about this in my ebook. Everything that I'm saying right now is in my ebook. And if you're a network marketer, I'll start there, and say you sell clothes. You're part of a company that sells clothes. If all you are presenting are the clothes, no one knows who you are. Now, I'm not saying they want to know what you ate last night. That's not what I'm saying. But they want to see you in the clothes. They might want to see like different things. They definitely want to know what you don't like. I can't stand it when I go to someone's page and all they're talking about is what they love, and they love everything. I don't trust that. I don't trust that you love everything. I can tell you for myself, I love Closet Candy Boutique. I am an affiliate with them. And there's certain things that I love more than others. Like, I love their jeans because they fit over my backside. But I'm not a fan of some of their shirts because I feel like it's too soft. It I'm not a fan of like the material, and I'm okay telling people that, like, hey, you might like it, but I'm not a big fan, but I do like their jeans because it fits like that. That's real. That's all they want. That's all people want, is for you to be real. And when you're showing up authentically, when you're showing up as your own brand and you're bringing that brand along, they're going to trust you. You're more likely to get engagements. If you look at any top influencer or any top percentager, like top 1% in a network marketing company, and you go look on their social media, there is not plastered. The company that they're repping is not plastered all over their page. They are, but not the company. You might not even know who they are until like who they're repping until you look at their links, or they might talk about it a little bit like straightforward, like, hey, this came out, you should check it out. So always treat yourself as a brand because it is your reputation. Yes, that's 5. Okay.
Yes. Y'all, Chante, she dropping some serious gems. Like, I don't know if y'all taking notes or not, but y'all better run this back. You better run this back so that you can get your personal brand in order. What everything that she's saying, absolutely. Like, I, definitely echo, preach. Like, the know, like, and trust factor is so important, and people can't know, like, if they can't know you, if they don't know who you are. That's definitely the thing. So if you're putting your brand before you, then it's going to be hard for people to build a relationship with a logo, right? Not saying that that's not important, not saying that you shouldn't have it.
It is.
But when people see the logo, they should associate that with you. They should associate that with excellence. They should associate that with, it should invoke some type of a feeling. And that's where the that personal branding piece comes in. It's just so super duper important. So I just wanted to echo everything that she said. I hope y'all again was taking notes, because definitely some gems dropped on that one. So you've given us like all the tea, so tell us real quick, like what is it like to work with you? What does that look like?
So right now I am just building my Facebook group, Monetize Your Awesomeness. And I like to have conversations with everyone, because a lot of times I have found, and I'm pretty sure you have too, Crystal, is that people have a feeling about what they should do. They just can't verbalize it. They can't put it into tangible terms. And so I just like having conversations. And right now I am just focused on my podcast and helping people through the podcast and the ebook. And I absolutely am. I'm going to be honest, I'm on a high right now. I have been since I just started walking in my purpose, helping, network marketers, mompreneurs, women entrepreneurs just learn who they are. So that's how it is working with me right now. It's just going into the Monetize Your Awesomeness group and starting up a conversation.
Yes. Conversations are the key to building relationships. definitely say that because that's where your authenticity shines through the conversation. So y'all better check out her group. The link to join is going to be or is in the description of this live and will also be in the show notes. So make sure you guys definitely check that out. And you just mentioned your podcast. So I really want you to tell the She Army about your podcast, what types of topics. I was just on there, but
Yes.
just just tell us
That
a
was
little bit more about
exciting.
that. Yes.
So, personal branding and Chante, PB&C, is really about personal branding, but personal branding is more than just, this is how you should show up. Like I mentioned, it is about knowing who you are. It is and a part of that is mental health and is mindset. And so a lot of the episodes I am talking about mindsets. I do talk about the pitfalls of entrepreneurship while being a mother, but offering solutions, offering different ways that we can overcome it. My one thing that I always say is that we have to get out of our own way. This show is definitely for the professional overthinkers, such as myself, who know what they want to do, but they're stuck because they just keep thinking about either how to make it perfect or there's too many things that they want to do. And I know there's a bad stigma on the quote unquote serial entrepreneur where they're like, oh, they just didn't know what they wanted to do. But why is that a bad thing? That means the person is passionate about different things and finding that thing in the moment that fulfills them and other people. I've been in several network marketing companies and I have owned my own business several times. So I am a serial network marketer and a serial entrepreneur. But it wasn't because like I was chasing the shiny object or the dollar like I mentioned before. It was each season was different. So in my fitness season, I was all in connected with the people that I needed to connect with at that time. And then when that season was done, I moved over to another season and so on and so forth. And there was always something there. I will say there was always something there that was missing. And I realized for me, it was connecting with someone to help them learn who they are and how to show how badass they are and to make some money from it, whether that is, being an affiliate or that is being a direct, a network marketer, whether that is owning your own business, however that shows up, being a contractor, however that shows up, just utilizing the power of you because you are so amazing.
Yes. Oh my
I
goodness.
literally forgot what you asked me, but
No, I mean you you answered the question. I mean, I think we were just focusing in on what your podcast was about. So I
Okay.
mean, yes. Why don't you just tell us where is it at? How can we listen to it?
So you can find it on the major platforms that you use to listen to podcasts. So it is on Apple, it is on Google. There will be a link, I believe, provided.
Yes.
Yes. So if you Google parentheses PB&C, personal branding and Chante, it will come up. But definitely you can find it on anchor.fm/Chante Franco for right now. I'm actually leaving Anchor and going to Lipson. So, but for right now, you can find it there.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, the link to Shantae's podcast will also be in the show notes. So fear not if you didn't catch that.
Yes.
You'll have an easy way to access her podcast as well because it's amazing. So just
Thank you.
yes, definitely want to just put that out there. Definitely make sure you listen, subscribe, like, and review. Because us podcasters love when you do that. And we
Yes.
love to hear from you. So make sure you give her some love
Absolutely.
for sure. So I think the last question I wanted to ask you was what's the most difficult obstacle you faced, in your entrepreneurship network marketing journey, and how did you overcome it?
So if I just pick one,
Mhm.
I think it would be my mental health, actually, because that played out in so many areas in my life. It affected so many areas in my life, including entrepreneurship. So I do have PTSD and high anxiety, and I didn't realize that not addressing that was basically sabotaging anything that I wanted to do in my business. Even being a wife, being a friend, being a sister, being a mom, it until I could address that, I couldn't address anything else. So once I started on that path, which was not pretty, by the way, I just want to put that out there. It's not pretty, it's ongoing. But once I started to actually focus on myself and practice what I preach about learning myself, I was able to overcome a lot, especially when it came to self-confidence. Yes. And I will say a second one. I will say the second obstacle, because I feel like this one is more common, but I had to really, and I talked about it, but really focus on what I wanted to do and then get a mentor to help me, because we think we can do everything, especially those solopreneurs out there who are glorifying doing everything yourself. That's a no. We should have a whole conversation about outsourcing. But they want to do everything themselves, want to do everything ourselves. But if we can't, not even if, but we can't, we do need that guiding hand. So getting a mentor and getting into that entrepreneurship program helped me streamline and help me focus. Like your coaching group, anyone who is in your coaching group, they're there because they needed help, and kudos to them. And if you're watching this and you know that you need help in your business, Crystal's right there. You were led here. You didn't stumble. You were led here.
Absolutely. Second, third, fourth, everything Chante just said, because a lot of times, like she said, again, scouring the internet late at night trying to figure out the solution to your problem. And one of the things that helped me again was getting a coach, because it was kind of like, what's the quickest way to the path for success? The quickest way is to find somebody who's been there before, so that you're not, on tangent A and tangent B. They can lead you right down the path that you need to be able to get to where you want to go a whole lot faster, rather than trying to, sometimes you never find that path. You never find it, right? So it's kind of like, you might hit it you might cross over it a couple of times, but it's definitely important, like you said, to focus, really get clear on what you want to do. And then, getting that mentor and that coach definitely helps out as well. So I lied, because I have another question. So
I was like, I made it out alive. Yay!
There's one more.
Okay.
So I did want to ask about your freebie that you're going to leave with the listeners today, the free self-branding guide for brand ambassadors and network marketers. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that and what's in there?
Yes. So in the free guide for self-branding for brand ambassadors and network marketers, and I made sure to put brand ambassadors because everyone identifies differently on what they're doing. And in the guide, I'm basically, it's a shorter form of my book, and it's just hitting points such as, again, asking questions to know who you are. And then it's also talking about what should you be doing? How should you show up, in your business and in life? Different ways that you can show up. So not just how, but just, like different ways that you can show up. And also the power of being you. And it's like, oh, Chante, you're not telling us much. Well, because you need to get the guide. Get the guide. I absolutely love this. I beta tested this with a group of amazing women, and they all absolutely loved it. So I was very happy with the guide.
Awesome. Well, you guys better make sure y'all get the guide. The link
And if
is
the
going to...
guide's not enough, there's always
Yeah.
the book.
Absolutely. Well, both will be linked in the show notes. So make sure you check that out because Chante is amazing. And, if you're looking for guidance in that area, Chante is your woman. So, can tell us really quickly how listeners can contact you if they have more information. You want to go ahead and just drop your social handles so that we can give you a follow.
Absolutely. So on Instagram, I am at Chante underscore Franco underscore LLC. And on LinkedIn, I'm at Chante Franco. I'm pretty much Chante Franco everywhere across the board because it is very important to have a consistent presence. Even though if you don't, that's fine. Now you can start working on it. And on Clubhouse, I am at Chante Franco as well. And Facebook, I am at Chante Franco.
There you go, guys. Look at that personal branding, all consistent. Hopefully, y'all taking notes. It's all at Chante Franco.
Trying to keep it simple at Chante Franco.
Absolutely. So guys, for more information on Chante, how you can connect with her, how you can get her freebies and links to the ebooks, you can click on the link in the show notes for this episode 55, at isimplyShe.com/podcast. Again, that is at isimplyShe.com/podcast. And you can also click on the link in my Instagram bio. It is slayhardeveryday.co, or just click on the link in my Instagram bio and you'll be able to get access to the podcast as well as Chante's episode. This is episode 55. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. If you'd like to join a collective of women dedicated to being empowered and being the best version of themselves, join the She Army Facebook community, and that link is also in the show notes. I really hope you guys have found what we've shared today to be helpful. And Chante, do you have any last remarks?
Just thank you so much for inviting me on and sending so much love to all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And remember, you two guys can slay hard every day.